Now lastly, if you were to do the one that is actually looking for a percent, right, it's just going to be one extra step. You could work in a similar fashion even still. Alright, 90 is not going to change, it is itself, and 45 is not going to change. Again, it would be nicer to sort of compact this algebraically. Normally the number sits in front of the letter though, so you have 90n. 90n is equal to 45. Alright, now remember, if you are solving for the variable n, then you have to move the numbers away from it. And over the equal sign means that you're doing the opposite operation. So, if this is multiplication of 90, the opposite of multiplying by 90 is dividing by 90. And again, if you do it to one side of equals, you must do it to both. Alright, at this point you see that you have a fraction. You could convert this to a fraction in lowest terms. It would be practical probably because you're trying to get a percent answer to instead make this a decimal. So what you should probably expect, since I didn't change these numbers again, is that it's 50%. Let me just do it the hard way first. Alright, what's the common factor of 45 and 90? They both end in a 5 or a 0, so you could divide by 5. That's not the greatest common factor though. My next guess would have been 15, but actually it's 45. 45 divided by itself would be equal to 1, and 90 divided by 45 would be 2. Now just to scoot this down here, what is 1/2 written as a decimal? Number on top, the numerator goes inside your division, and you divide like so. 2 does not go into 1 because it is too small, but it does go exactly into 10 5 times, which is 0.5. However, what, remember, are you looking for? A percent. And this is, unfortunately, still a decimal. So, if you were instead converting from a decimal back to a percent, you're going to move your decimal place twice to the right instead. Because instead of dividing by 100 as in the first case, you are multiplying by 100. You can knock off that 0 and fill in one little 0 in the wave there. Alright, so 50% of 90 is still 45. Right. That just happens to be the relationship between these three numbers. Now there are some variations in part equations, the way that they're laid out in your textbook. Sometimes they will say, what is 50% of 90, and put the what at the beginning. Alright, but that's not going to change anything really. You're just going to have this equals 0.50 times 90 instead of 0.50 times 90 equals n. You can put the n in front. Alright, what's important is that the n is not next to a number for any part equation. These two should be solved algebraically. The part equations you can get away with just doing plain old arithmetic. Anyway, all of that to see from knowing what these two words are.